So let's go. That leads us into our next segment. We're just going to do a bit of a history lesson. So this argument whether Vietnam had comedy clubs
oh shit
in the past.
Oh, that's it, boys. Goodbye. History. God damn it.
No, obviously, like obviously, we had different form of theaters, like folk theater, opera theaters, and operas, and a lot of these was quite small. They were quite small, very small venue. They tend to be performed in public spaces. Ironically, so you can see in this picture, you have a caption that says "a group of comedian, a king."
I love stuff like this. I absolutely love stuff like this.
And obviously, comedy back then didn't mean comedy now. Or comedy, it's just general term referring to theaters in general, theaters. And obviously, a lot of these performances, they had elements, comedic elements humorous elements to them, elements of satire. And but some of the more professional one would have managers. So you have this guy right here.
Wow, shit.
Yeah, obviously, you see who the fan is. He's quite serious.
So that guy's not a performer with a fan.
Yeah.
Even though he's dressed as wonderfully and ostentatiously as presumably the other guy sitting next to him is the performer. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a caption right here: a manager and of a theater troupe.
He's got the look of a manager. He's got the little beard and the kind of he's the guy with the money at the end.
Money pinching kind of person.
He's just like, don't do the racist joke. No.
No, he's like, don't do this racist joke. Do this racist joke.
This group is okay.
It's okay.
That is not.
Okay, you have the Chinese. You have the Chinese and the French. Pick one.
Colonialism and feudal lords. Just pick one. Okay,
pick one. And obviously, and also you have different. So the genres, some of them are quite popular. So this one is very popular Vietnamese genre, water puppets.
Oh, yeah.
Water puppetry. So essentially, puppets perform in a body of water, and then you have guys behind them, behind the curtain, manipulating the puppets. And so that will be most of the time will be in outdoor spaces, because obviously you need the body of water. Then a lot of this will be involved will be quite communal events, in villages, because each Vietnamese village will have like a communal house, like a temple, so like a community center, like a hall where people do stuff in it,
like a town hall. So
these
like a town hall outside. Yeah,
these guys were doing outdoor gigs before anyone else was.
We were pioneers. We knew something was fishy going on.
Yeah, not COVID safe, but we did it first.
But funny enough, like because the body of water is quite cold, a lot of the performers, a lot of the puppeteers, they had to drink like fish sauces to stay warm. Obviously because you imagine like doing puppets underwater for like 1 or 2 hours. And there's another one called Jail, and which has also elements of satire to them. It's quite similar to what was being done in Renaissance Italy, with Commedia dell'arte. And a lot of these performances will be done by people who will live in those communities. They're quite so it's quite amateur, pretty much from amateur to semi-amateur.
This is like village people like getting together and stuff, right?
Yeah, basically, it's just essentially coming together, communal performances, especially during special occasions, like Lunar New Year and whatnot.
Yeah, my grandma used to do one of these things that she's not even a professional. Just she could just sing and then volunteer to perform.
Yeah, I guess that's like a very like the element of like a community that's very close knitted, with very close knitted people. Is like you don't really need to label someone as a singer or a comedian. You just do it. And then you go up on stage and you perform. Very much like open mic nights, I feel like.
Yeah, pretty much. kind of preceded that concept of open mics. And obviously, like maybe in medieval Europe, like in Europe back in the day, performers were seen as low as were seen the same ranks as prostitutes. So.
Oh,
I'm a man whore.
Man whore. I can sing and dance too.
Where's my OnlyFans?
I wonder if
that's the ego boost I needed.
I wonder if villages operate on the same system that you get in comedy now. Like, did you have the headline villagers? Did you have the open spot villagers? Was there a caste system? Was there a caste system? Like, you're not marrying that guy. He's an opener at best. Like, that's.
Well, like you're newcomers. You're in the last bracket, and everyone left.
Yeah. Can you imagine even like? Can you imagine if Jerry Seinfeld was doing a gig at a Vietnamese village? What's to do with rice?
Yeah, and then somebody just gets up to sing, and they're like, I hope that person's not getting a cut of my fee. That's that.
Man.
But funny enough, because you mentioned like a caste system. Apparently, like in a Vietnamese village, there's this guy in the village who would basically read out news. He was like a newsreader. We'll go around like with a bullhorn and just read out the news. But funny, so he's the most important guy delivering information. But at the same time, he's not considered officially part of the village. And he was and he'd be like the lowest guy within that within the village hierarchy, and he's not even considered like a resident.
Right.
Just like
so this is like this random dude just walk around the village and read stuff.
It sounds like bullhorn. Hey, this is what's been happening in the world we're living in, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up,
That guy could just come in and just spin any old shit. Like, was there any way of checking whether his news was, or he wasn't just like a mental guy that had wandered in out of the woods, or just the new prime minister is a seagull. Anyway, see you next week.
Yeah, I mean,
this is very bizarre information.
This seems unlikely, but we've no way of checking.
Yeah,
no way of checking. No, I mean they do. Also, they do look crazy. Like they haven't. They tend to look like they haven't been fed for like months. So it does not very wordy, but we're gonna keep him along.
I have a word for him. Crackheads.
But yeah, so I mean, it's still an interesting question whether we did have comedy clubs back in the old days. And obviously, like a lot of these theater groups, they tend to be quite mobile. They go from like different maybe from villages to perform. And obviously, and they tend to stick together. It's not even like you don't have a revolving list of performances. They tend to stick together for quite a long time. Even like some of them sometimes it's the hereditary as well. Like it stick within one family, and it's often the case with like maybe water puppetry.
Yeah.
I think I understand now why funding bodies don't consider comedy an art form. Is because entertainment started like this. It started as comedy being part of dance and singing and theater. And at some point, all of that kind of stuck together. And then comedy just went, nah, do you know what? I think we need a comedy club for our own. And it's just comedy. And we don't have any fucking singing. And the comedy club went off in a huff on its own whilst theater is still going on. And there's just this egotistical thing of just comics going, I think we need more of a stage here. We've grown.
We need more of a challenge.
Yeah.
I think we're beyond puppets in the water now, guys. I think we need our own space.
No more random guys saying stuff anymore.
No. Yeah, no more funny costumes or for intricate dialogues, intricate commentary. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna talk about penises.
I don't want to get up and then somebody's grandmother gets up for free and starts singing. I don't want that vibe. nightclub.
But like, yeah, I feel like it would be so irritating to actually arrange like a theater piece for comedy, because it's like, for us comics, I feel like you could go do like open mics, and if you bomb, you're like, okay, that did not work, don't do that next time. But like, what happens if you do like a theater piece? Like, do you have villagers, like do you do focus groups for villagers, 5 at the time, when you rehearse? Or like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, or
Yeah.
if you think it's shit, do you go and visit like another village just so
Yeah.
your own village don't think you're shit? Is it like a test village? Maybe that's what the news guy is. He's not a news guy at all. He's just a stand-up. He's wandering around. He's like doing a bit through people's windows.
Trying his material. Be like, how do you feel about that?
just reading from a paper. It's like, this is the new jokes that I'm running. Okay.
So what do you think?
Kings
Did they
of
like the
Food.
bit about the seagull mayor? No, they hated it. Okay, drop that.
All right, try this one in the next village, but not this one. I got tomatoes in my face. It's
Yeah,
not
They
working.
go on tour before they go on tour, essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's quite interesting.